All right, welcome back to the Daily Mastermind, your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. My name is George Wright III. I am your host. And over the past 25 years, I've had the privilege of growing brands and businesses for some of the biggest thought leaders and celebrities, experts in the world. And I created the Daily Mastermind so that I could share some of these lessons that I've learned with individuals, entrepreneurs, and high achievers just like you in order to help you to unleash your true potential and live your best life. But to create your best life, you've got to focus on growing all aspects of your life, including your mind, your body, your spirit, your money, business, and lifestyle. And the Daily Mastermind is going to help you to do that. So some days I'll provide just a 5-10 minute episode, and other days, in fact, coming up over the coming weeks, I'll be interviewing guests that are experts in these key areas that I talk about in order to kind of give you the behind the scenes stories, strategies, and inspiration that I believe will help you and inspire you to create greatness in your life and in your business. And today I want to talk to you about the habits of high performers. And in order to do this, I want to talk to and kind of go back to one of my favorite books, High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. And but before I do that, let me give you the quote of the day from Aristotle. The quote is, "What we repeatedly do, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit." So think about that for a minute. We are what we repeatedly do. So excellence is not an act, but a habit. And I really believe that's a great quote for you to start your week with. So let's talk a little bit about High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. And I don't know if you've read this book or not. It's an amazing book, super easy to read, but very, very packed with strategies and tactics. And it talks about how extraordinary people became extraordinary. And there's just a couple of key thoughts I want to kind of share with you before we get into the book itself. And maybe I'll do this over a couple of episodes this week. But one of the things I really, really loved in the very beginning, Brendon talks about how achievement is not your problem. And what I mean by that is most of us, if you're listening to this podcast, most of us are high achievers. We're looking for success in our life, in our business, in everything that we do. I mean, it's kind of how we're wired, and it's one of the reasons you're listening to this podcast. But we are constantly looking for ways to achieve at a higher level. And what Brendon talks about is that achievement is not your actual problem. Alignment is your problem. And what do I mean by that? Well, alignment of your thoughts and behaviors is the key that's what's going to get you achievement. So achieving success is not the problem that you're lacking. Whether you're achieving now or not achieving and you're wanting to go to another level, achievement is not the problem. Alignment with the right thoughts and behaviors is the key. Because keep in mind, achievement isn't always, when you do achieve certain things, it doesn't always mean that's what's most important. What is achievement if it's not along the lines of the most important things that you want? So achievement isn't necessarily your problem, alignment is. And the other thing he talks about is that certainty, and this is a big one, I think you really need to think about this. Certainty is the enemy of growth. Certainty is your enemy of growth, because having certainty means that you're able to predict what's happening and that you're in your comfort zone and that you know what it is to expect. And you know as well as I do that the growth that you want to achieve, that growth in your life, the growth in your business, everything, it's all going to be outside your comfort zone. So what you have to do is you have to learn to replace certainty with curiosity and confidence. Sometimes we talk about wanting more uncertainty in our life, but we don't necessarily know what that means. Well, it means replace certainty, because high performers replace certainty with curiosity and confidence. And the thing to keep in mind is that confidence will only come to you with uncertainty. Well, how do you develop confidence? It's by persistently going through adversity. It's persistently going through things that you cannot predict. So confidence will come with uncertainty. So let me give you a couple of the qualities of high performers. What is it that makes a high performer? What are the common traits of high performers? And I want you to think about this, because obviously you want to align your thoughts with what it takes to be a high performer, to be able to create more success, more fulfillment, more happiness, the life that you were meant to live. So what are some of the qualities of high performers? Well, and this first one really kind of, it didn't make sense to me at first, but high performers are more successful, but less stressed. More successful, but less stressed. I thought to myself, how can you be achieving such high levels of high performance without the stress? And I think the subtle difference here is that high performers are more successful, but less stressed, meaning that doesn't mean that they don't have stress. It means that they are affected less by the stress, that they not look forward to stress, but they can allow more stress into their life without it affecting them. And I think it's how you view stress. When you view stress as a bad thing versus a good thing, when you don't view stress as an opportunity to grow and you view it as just an overwhelming thing, then it affects you more. So high performers are more successful but less stressed. They also love challenges. They're more confident despite adversity. Now that's a big factor. When you can learn to be confident despite adversity, how do you do that? Well, it's very simple. When you have accepted the fact that no matter what comes your way, you will find a way to overcome it, you're going to be more confident. Despite the adversity, no matter how big the obstacle is that comes your way, as long as you can, and all of us can do this, as long as you can look back and realize that no matter what's happened to you in your life, you've found a way to make it through, then you can adopt that confidence that despite adversity, you can remain confident. High performers are also healthier, happier, and more admired. High performers are passionate about their work. I think that's a key factor. You've got to learn to find your unique talents, but these are the things that you're excellent and passionate about, because that's what's going to push you through times when you don't have the energy, the motivation, when you don't feel as confident. Passion for what you do will help you to do that. High performers also are assertive and they see beyond their own strengths. So high performers look to who they're becoming rather than who they think they are. How many times have you been in the situations where you have felt, I'm not enough, I don't have enough of the talents and things? Well, that's when you're focused on who you are, not who you're becoming. So high performers, they focus beyond their strengths into who they're becoming. And they're also uniquely productive. What do I mean by uniquely productive? Well, high performers do a very good job of keeping the main thing, the main thing. So many times we get distracted by all the things in our life, the circumstances, the things we can't predict, the uncertainty. But when you can uniquely learn to stay productive by keeping the main thing, you're going to be and have the characteristics of a high performer. Then the other thing is that high performers, they develop skills. They look to see what it is they need to achieve the goals in their life, and they develop those skills. But more importantly, high performers also develop people. Because remember, in order to scale your success or your life, you've got to be able to surround yourself with the right people. And when you can build people, that becomes a way to be able to scale your success. So developing your skills is one thing, developing people is another. So these are just a few of the thoughts that are setting up the book and the ideas and the habits of the 6 habits of high performers. Let me give you real quick, before we end today, the 6 habits that Brendon Burchard talks about in his book. So it'll kind of set you up for this. And, I'll try to feed these back into the podcast. We'll kind of go through some of these later on. But here are the 6 habits that are common to high performers. Number 1, they seek clarity. They seek clarity. Number 2, they generate energy. They generate energy. Number 3, they raise necessity. They raise necessity. Now, those first 3 are all part of internal high performers habits, right? Seeking clarity and energy and necessity. And then you've got a few external ones. Number 4 is increased productivity. High performers have a habit of increased productivity. Number 5, they develop influence. High performers develop influence. And number 6, they demonstrate courage. I like how he says demonstrate courage. You don't just have courage, you have to act courage. So these are the 6 habits of high performers. I'm going to actually cover some of these because I think it's something that'll help you a lot in your week, as we also highlight some of these guests and interviews later during the week. But I appreciate you joining me. I look forward to helping you. We've got a new newsletter that's coming out actually that has the podcast episodes, the quote of the week, sort of like a highlight of everything that's happened during the week, whether it be the events, the academy, the podcast, the blog. And so I will get you some more details on that. So for now, don't miss any episodes. Hit like and subscribe. And do me a favor and share this episode with someone that you know so that we can share the message and we can help to inspire and motivate and educate everyone around us. Once again, this is George Wright III. This has been the Daily Mastermind. Have an amazing day, and I will talk with you more tomorrow.